be teaching you about the basics of lacrosse defense. First off, I just want to start, does anyone know how to spell lacrosse? Because a lot of people get confused. Adam?
L-A-X.
Coming. Even though there's no X.
L-A-C-R-O-S-S-E.
R-O.
I've seen various forms of spelling on that, so I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so this is the lacrosse field and what it looks like. I'm just gonna go over some basics of lacrosse so you have some sort of understanding before we do some basics of lacrosse defense and some drills and everything. Can anyone tell me what this line is?
End line.
End line, correct. This line. Sideline. Okay, can anyone tell me what this line is?
Midline.
Half, midline. Can anyone tell me what this line is? Anyone else?
No.
Offside?
No.
Blue line.
Restraining line. So this is the line that when there's a face-off, which occurs inside this green little circle in the center of the field, there's 3 attack and 3 defense that have to start behind this line on both sides of the ball. Does anyone know what this triangle is?
The goal.
Correct. Does anyone know what this green line is?
The goal box.
Crease.
Crease.
Where? Crease.
I think your goals are backwards.
It's fine. Okay, so the crease, only the goalie so this goal, say, is home, only the home team can go in the crease. If an away player were to go into the crease, it would be a penalty. So now, one last line. This isn't a real line on the field, it's dotted. I dotted it here. Does anyone know what this is called? This is
When you bring it back.
goal line. It's called the goal line extended. It's abbreviated as GLE. That term is used a lot for defensive players because when attacker coming from behind, you want to just turn them back. All right, now I'm going to go into players and kind of how many, what they can do, that kind of stuff.
What are the 2 blue lines that are?
Oh, this is, sorry, I forgot to explain that. So this is the restraining line, and then if one team is up by, I forget how many goals, in the last 2 minutes of the game, the offense has to keep it in the box, and they can't go outside or else it's the other team's fault.
And that's the team that's down?
Yeah.
That's
The team that's up has to keep it in the box.
Okay.
So, you can't just, sit in the corner and, run around. Make the game harder and not, just sit there pretty much to waste time. So that's one way of preventing it. All right, so who knows how many people are on a lacrosse field
11.
at one time?
20,
22.
9.
5,
On one team.
11.
12.
10 plus the goalie.
10.
9.
10 total on one team. So there's 3 attack, 3 defense, and 3 middies. And a goalie. So goalie obviously stays in the net most of the time. Attack, they stay on one side of the field and they're trying to score. So there would also be on the other team 3 defenders on one side. And then middies, I don't know soccer too well, but I think it's the same concept. They can go on both sides of the ball.
There's no restrictions.
There's no restrictions for middies. They can go anywhere on the field.
Yeah, in soccer there's no restriction on players.
Yeah. So defense can go across midfield, but one thing that they would typically call to do that, if the only reason a defender would usually go over half with the ball, or the only reason that a defender would go over half is if they had the ball, and what they would call then is midi back. So a midi would stay back on this side, and the defender would go over.
So you need to have 4 players back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a
3
roll?
defenders plus the goalie at all times.
Is that a
Otherwise, it's an
roll,
offside.
or just like
Yeah, it's an offsides penalty. Don't do that.
Is it the same with forwards? Forwards can't go back.
Yeah, attack can't go play defense.
Is there a similar call where they can call a midi forward or something like that?
Attack usually wouldn't go play defense just because like their
They're at a
strength is
disadvantage.
yeah, they're just not great defenders.
They got
That's why they
short
play
sticks
attack.
and they're egomaniacs. I got
Yeah,
it.
so they usually don't. That call usually wouldn't happen. But. Okay, now I'm gonna explain some of like the pads that you would wear. So pads, you'd have a helmet, shoulder pads, elbow pads, and gloves, and then a stick, obviously. The only difference between padding for the different players is goalies have this neck pad, or it's like a neck thing, pretty much just saves their neck. And then the only other difference is elbow pads. Defenders typically have really small elbow pads so they can move around a lot and throw different checks, while as attack and middies usually have big ones, big elbow pads because they're getting checked a lot by defenders, and defenders aren't getting checked very often, so they typically just have small elbow pads. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to also mention this. Does anyone know what this part is?
penalty box?
It's the subbing.
Yeah, it's the box. So if someone were to, so in lacrosse, subbing is on the fly, so you don't have to call a timeout to sub or anything like that. So if someone wants to sub, they just hang out in the box, and then someone comes off the field, runs in, and then the other person runs on. So this is where that happens, in the box. And also if you have a penalty, you sit in the box. An example of when a sub would need to be made is obviously if you're tired, and then there's also something called a D midi, a defensive midi. So some middies are more offensive minded and some are more defensive minded. So when the ball is turned over and one team's on defense, the offensive midi would sprint to the box, sub out, and the defensive midi would come on and play defense until the ball is turned back over and they go back to offense, and they kind of do that. And then one other position that there is a long stick midi, which same kind of concept. One midi comes off, and pretty much a long stick midi is an extra defender, but because they're a midi, they can go on both sides of the line, the halfway mark, and they also have a long stick. So typically on defense, you want to have 4 long sticks on the field at one time. You can't have any more than 4. Otherwise, it's a penalty. But yeah, ideally on defense, you want 4 long sticks because they're way more versatile, and you're able to take the ball away easier. Okay, so yeah. Sorry.
Do you all wear different color, or like how do you identify who's a midi, who's a defensive person, who's the
You
offensive?
don't wear different colors. You just kind of know.
So the refs
like-
just have to know who's who.
Yeah.
Well.
It's pretty obvious. It's kind of hard to like explain it without like showing it on an actual field. But yeah, the refs know. Like, it's a pretty big field. The field is like 100 yards, size of a football field. So, like, you'll know. The refs just have to know that there's always like 4 people on defense and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to, so different sticks, I've kind of touched upon that a little bit. Offensive players have a smaller stick, which is about 3 feet long, and then defenders have a long stick. Like I said, there's only 4 allowed on a field at one time, and that stick is, it can be anywhere in between 3 and 6, but typically it's 6 feet long, so about as tall as me, because it gives you a lot of leeway to keep in front of your defender.
How do you control like that movement?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's pretty difficult to. It takes a lot of getting used to. Like throwing and catching is just a whole lot different with a long stick than a short stick. Okay. Yeah. So going into more defensive stuff, John, you want to come up here? Be my offensive player.
Can you have a short stick defender?
Yeah, you can. So, like I said, there's only 4 Are you talking about like an actual defender or like a midi?
Yeah,
that
just
plays
like a defender first half short stick.
Could, but like long sticks are just so much better to use on defense. You can throw more checks, keeps the other person farther away. But defensive middies, like if you're a midi and you're going back on defense, you have a short stick and you're playing defense. Yeah. All right, so defense, kind of like all sports, you just want to have like an athletic stance, pretty athletic stance, and typically you want to keep like a stick's length away from your defender. And anywhere you're going, you kind of want to just force them one side. So in defense, there's like some sliding, which is a little more advanced, so I can go over that with someone another time. But pretty much middies start up here because they're coming over half. And you want to force if you're a defender, you want to force your opposing player to the outside and not to the middle because that requires a slide. So if you're forcing someone to the outside, you're doing your job. So when you're playing defense, you just want to, you just want to pick a side and make them go that way. Kind of like that. So yeah, just athletic stance. Keep your opponent in front of you, and I'll go over some checks a little bit later, but the biggest thing in lacrosse defense is just footwork. If you can get good footwork down, then you could be a good defender. Like if you watch college lacrosse, you'll see some like crazy checks being thrown, and some crazy moves, but it all starts with footwork. Like that's the basics, and that's what will make you an elite defender, is having really good footwork. So if everyone wants to stand up, I have a little drill to simulate that. And one other thing, as a defender, I forgot to mention this. Behind the goal is termed X. This is X. So you have an X defender and an X attackman. So usually, some attack like to dodge from behind the net and come up and shoot and score, try and score. So as a defender, you have to go behind X, and you want to force it one way. And I was talking about this term GLE earlier, goal line extended. When you're defending, you want to force them one way, and when they get to GLE, goal line extended, you want to turn them and force them back inside, so a slide. And that's pretty much what this drill I'm about to show is simulating. So for this drill, we're just going to go 50%. You want to go harder, harden up right now. One's going to be offense, one's going to be defense. Only the defender needs a stick, but I'm just going to example with John. So everyone can just come over here. So I set up these rock cairns here. So I'll go through with John. So the offensive player is pretty much just going to run this way. And just go from each one of them. I can plant here, change, switch to the other hand, just run like that. So John, if you want to do that. And then as a defender, you kind of want to just like, when he starts running, you want to turn like this. So you're starting like this. And then when he starts running, you turn like, point your foot out and then start running like this. And then when you get to this rock carry, you want to turn him back and have your hands out like this. So that's turning him back inside. And then he'll turn like that, do the same thing, point this way, turn, run. Turn him back this way. And each rock carry. Does everyone get that?
Yeah, so a couple questions. You never change the direction of your stick though. When you change, it's all the footwork. Your
Yeah.
stick stays the same way.
Yeah, for
Okay.
this purpose of this drill.
Okay. Purpose of this.
So yeah, only defense needs a stick. Offense, just pretend you're cradling. All right, does everyone have a partner?
I need a partner.
I can go with you now.
You're on defense.
What about Noah?
Got my partner right here.
No.
John, do you have a phone? You can go with that.
I want to be defensive. Do it.
I'll rotate with someone.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just like when people have gone, I'll give it to someone who's already gone.
Go for these. That's the last one over there.
I know, like when one of them will come, they'll give the iPad to Adam, and then I'll go join JR. That's what I'm saying. All this is being recorded too. This whole conversation we're having right now, and now I'm talking to myself on the iPad. Hey Charlie, it's a great lesson. You're doing a great job, Charlie. You're gonna see this video later and you'll hear my voice.
Turn them. Yep, good. Good footwork, Adam. Turn. Nice. Good. Next, go. Plant right there. Yep, good, Katie. All right, plant. Turn. Nice.
Adam, you have to come back and be with JR.
Oh.
Back.
She's like playing guitar.
All right, flip and grab this. Flip and grab this. I'll go JR. I got it. Oh. It's got
Nice,
moves.
JR. Nice, JR.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so now just switch. Now just switch so everyone gets a chance to play offense and defense.
Oh yeah, I just want to hold it.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, just go when you're ready. Plant. Turn him back. Turn him back. Like,
I could throw it really far.
Usually I like to stick.
oh, I got inside. Did you play lacrosse, JR?
Charlie, if I bring my stick to school next year, will you throw with me?
Yeah, totally. Colby, you're not cradling.
No.
All right, someone take this.
Nick, you wore the right shorts for this room.
Like you're a lacrosse player.
All right, if everyone could come back together. John, you can come up here. Now I'm going to go into a few basic checks. So if John's a defender, or if you want a defender, sorry, I'm here to help. Simple one, most like what I like a lot, just stand there. Space me. Okay. It's a simple poke check.
Poke?
Right to the gut. That one's real nice.
What?
Oh yeah, straight to the gut. Get him right there. That's how you keep him in front of you. And one thing that you don't want to do with that is lunge and poke, because that's how you get beat and goes right around. So you want to keep your feet square and just back up, kind of just like poke like that. And then another check you can throw, kind of when he's running, is just a slap check. Just this, right in the hand. Like that. Yeah. And then that's effective like when they're running and you just want to throw a couple checks. That's legal. Kind of just like this, yeah. Like that. And then poke.
Notice you're hitting with the narrow, so you're rotating so that you're hitting with the narrow side of it for more pain.
I like that shot. I like that.
Nails to the side.
And then one last check that I'm going to show you is if John goes to pass, one thing that I would do is lift. Stick goes back, he can't throw anymore. So that's when they're typically going to pass, is lift. Or if they're stopping to shoot, lift. Devastating.
Stop it.
Alright, so we're going to do a drill of stick checks. So people just want to line up like pretty spread apart and hold their stick like this. Everyone can get a stick.
Is cross checks a thing?
Line up in like a line over here.
Are cross checks a thing?
Yes, that's this. That's a lead.
Do you have to keep your hands?
Yeah, you want to keep your hands.
Like how wide is
Got to have it apart a little more.
you have to, like,
Your
put
hands
the-
have to be together,
Hold the
Flip.
stick like this.
If your hands are apart, it's an illegal check, I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure.
so same as hockey.
Yeah.
I'd hold it to your side. Oh. To your side. We get more in like a line. You can come a little closer, like in a line.
Over y'all.
Why are we holding our sticks out like this?
You'll see in a
Hey,
second.
Coach Chuck's getting mad. Follow
Come
my
a
football.
little closer together. You can hear his voice. Okay, so this drill, what you're gonna do is it's kind of just working on your stick skills and your checks. So you're gonna go side one, side two, one poke check.
Listen, Katie.
Oof. I saw that, Coach.
And then the person over there starts and everyone goes through. So one on each side and then a poke check. There you go. Wait till everyone go, like they go through fully through the line. Go. As soon as they're done, you can go.
So you can't even stick check?
Contact
Yo, Maddie,
is allowed.
do one of these two things.
Stick on stick on. Coach doesn't blow his whistle at me.
Wait, did you start? Did you start?
Yeah, Flip is.
There it is. Already.
No.
10 push-ups.
Wait, so maybe it's a good thing you picked
Coffee.
Yeah, I've never done this.
Get here. Don't let him pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meredith.
Thanks, Coach.
Look at that stamps too.
That's my co. Go.
No, just go through once.
So Maddie's.
Yeah, hold it to the side of you.
Yeah.
Flip's already gone.
It's like post acting.
Yeah.
Canadian vibe. Also, we can take it. I played ice hockey for like 10 times.
Nice, Maddie. Just knocking them down.
All right, nice. Everyone can make a pile of the paddles, and then we're gonna go over some review where we started. Someone can take this. Make a pile of sticks. Flip. All right, guys, come on. I'm just gonna continue the lesson so everyone.
Continue.
Damn, Coach.
All right, so body check, you're just going to come in with your body, and this is called for a cross check. If you just go like this to someone, that's a cross check. So typically with a body check, you have your hands close together and just pretty much try and run through the person and body them. Yeah, that's why it's called a body check. Body to body, chest forward, like this.
And cross check's not allowed.
This is your cross check. It's not allowed. Yeah, one of the reasons I used to play midi. I switched to defense because I like hitting people. I get a lot of penalties. Yeah. So now we're just going to do some review. I'm going to review the lines, some players, equipment, all the stuff I went over in the beginning, just review. This line.
Sideline. End line.
End line.
X.
X.
GLE.
X.
GLE.
Goal.
Crease.
Restricting line.
Restraining line. And then this whole
Box.
thing, box. This is where face-offs happen.
Midline.
Same thing on the other end.
Box.
What can you do in the box?
Sub and penalty.
Penalties.
Yeah, penalties go here. If you get a penalty, you wait in the box until your penalty's up, and then it's released, and you go back. How many players are on the field at one time?
10.
9.
10 per side.
10. And what are the positions and how many?
One goalie.
Nice.
Some refs in there.
Some refs spread out along the field. Forgot to ask this in the beginning. Does anyone play lacrosse? I know John does. Colby did high school. Anyone else? Cool. Well, yeah, I really enjoy lacrosse. I've been playing since I was like 8 years old. I mentioned that in my bio. I really like it. I play club at Ithaca. Spring season's happening right now. I think we're doing pretty well. If anyone has any more questions, comments, or concerns, Colby?
Do you find women's lacrosse boring?
Absolutely. Women's lacrosse is a lot different from men's. They don't wear any pads. They just have like a face guard that's pretty much like a sunglasses. Yeah, it's just an eye guard. And you can't check anyone. You're not.
The only checks you can do are like stick checks, like poking them. No, like
You
no,
can't
like, stick check. And just like a lot of like the rules of the game are different, and it's a lot less
Like you can't shoot if you're trying to score and someone's in front of you, you can't shoot.
it's a lot less aggressive, and like the field on women's lacrosse looks different. It's like a totally like two different.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just have women play regular lacrosse, like boys lacrosse. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
What are the origins of the game?
Ooh, good question. So it started with Indians playing on like big reservations, and the field was not a football field. It was a lot bigger. It would be like miles long, and games would go on for days. It started with the Native Americans. I know, and there's different types of lacrosse. John, if you could explain box lacrosse, it's pretty much the same as. Yeah, you want to explain it?
Yeah, real quick and dirty. Box lacrosse is basically a combination of field lacrosse and hockey. So it's played in either a traditional Native American box or like you can conceptualize like a hockey rink without ice. There's 5 players and a goalie. Goal is 3x3 instead of 6x6. Goalie wears a lot of like big hockey pads. No defined positions. Everyone plays everything. And there's
Short
a shot
sticks,
clock.
yeah.
Short stick.
It's a lot more of
field's a
like an
lot
offensive
smaller, too.
game than a defensive game.
It's super physical.
Yeah. Cross checking is allowed.
Encouraged it.
Flip.
If you get a penalty, is your team down a player for that?
Yeah, so if you get a penalty, there's like 1 minute penalties, 2 minute penalties, and then there's like, if you're continually hitting someone and you get like an unnecessary roughness, it could be up to 5 minutes. So then it goes into man down, man up or man down, man up if you're on offense and the other team gets a penalty, and then man down. Typically, defense is played man to man. You can play a zone, and then obviously if you're man down, you kind of have to play a zone. And if anyone who's interested, I can go over like more advanced, like sliding in defense, man down and stuff like that.
What's the length of the game?
It's 4 quarters, 15 minutes each, running time, until it gets to 2 minutes.
And then it stop.
Yeah, start stop when it goes out of bounds.
Penalties does it stop?
Yeah, like if the ref blows a whistle, and a penalty is announced.
Is that 2 minutes in each quarter at the end, or 2 minutes at the end of the game?
At half and fourth.
So you have evenly matched teams. How often do people score? Is it like soccer?
It can
hockey, or-
really vary. Like you can have a defensive game where it's like 3-2, or you can have, if it's 2 high-powered offenses, you can have like 20 plus, like 21 to 18 or something like that. There's a huge goal range.
Have you ever scored from defense?
Like I was hoping you'd ask.
Anyone else?
Can we make signs for you next spring and come to your club games?
Totally. That would be awesome.
Lawnmower.
Mow them down.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Jeff.